Yeah, I know it kind of sounds like some people who may be listening, it may sound like we're un-American, like we're commies or something, but that's not true. Our government are commies. They're Bolsheviks. And you don't need to look any further than the Communist Manifesto. You don't need to look any further than the policies implemented the last 10 years, or the last 30 years, the last 100 years. And as I said, if it looks like a Zionist and it smells like a Zionist, it is a central banker. And central banks have caused every boom, every bust. They fund both sides of every war. And so we're not un-American. And I say God bless Americans.
God bless Americans, white, black, tall, short, fat, thin. God bless y'all. Hey, welcome to Against the Wall. It's been a minute. It has been a spell since JJ's been on the airwaves. I needed the time off. I needed to get things going again. And simply put, I needed to get my life back together. We got it done. Things are going all right. My ducks are seeming to be in a row. And, well, you know, here's the deal, guys. It's Sunday morning, right? And unless something happened 15, 20 minutes ago, it's been covered. I'm not doing a daily show 5 days a week. Remember, I did 3 shows a day, 2 shows a day, 3 hours every day, 5 days a week. And, you know, at that point, when you're doing that much radio, you know, you got to stay ahead of the curve. I was in the morning. I loved it because I could get it out there. I get the news out there, and whatever I said was bit upon all day long. So, yes, when people say, it sounds like Alex Jones stole your article. Well, not necessarily. We talked about the same things, but I got to talk about it first. But, you know, guess what? It's Sunday. It's early Sunday morning. Man, I just don't want to do the same crap that I've always done. I've done enough radio. You guys have listened to me for long enough to know, you know, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night, all right? And I'm pretty sure I'll be able to piss some people off before the end of the show. You know, I'm reasonably sure. I have some views and opinions that most people don't necessarily subscribe to. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, here on Sunday morning, every now and again, I mean, I don't know. I want this to be your show, guys, because I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to solicit donations. I'm not trying to solicit, anything. I'm not trying to sell you squatty potties. I'm not trying to sell you, you know, water filters or gold or silver. I'm entertaining you. I don't have a problem with that. You know, I know, I understand I may have woken a few people up or whatever, but you know what I'm interested in? And that's why every Sunday morning, I mean, if you want to get up early and you want to hang out with me here, the phone lines are always open, 718-717-8269. Man, I want to talk about you. I want you to call up. I want to know, you guys, my friends and my listeners and my audience, fascinate me. None of us have fallen off the turnip truck. We're not, you know, adolescent twofers. We're not, you know, Jehovah Witness truthers with a bullhorn and, you know, a pocket full of half-truths. We've been doing this for a minute now. And so on Sunday mornings, when I start my show, you know, I'd like you guys to call in. I'd like to talk about you and your life and what you're doing. You guys know me. I mean, I don't think I've left a stone unturned. You know that, you know, what an imperfect piece of crap that I am. I put it on display for all the world. You know, I got a lot of haters. I've been getting a lot of death threats because I called out Jewett Rhodes and Panhandler Richard Mack. And I know it's none of you guys. And it's the blood in the street guys that just want to see people shot and killed. Because I didn't fall for Cloven Hoof Bundy, because I didn't fall for Sandy Hoax. And I'll go into that in a little bit. A little bit. There's a lot of things. I mean, I've got, you know, stuff that I did check out last night, like this Down syndrome looking guy who's being accused of stealing a couple of signs from Sandy Hook. There's a few stories that I'm going to touch on. First things first, for everybody out there who doesn't agree with me, for everybody out there, I love you, man, especially those of you who don't agree with me. Here we go, start of the day.
I'm so glad you decided to join me. I hope you stay for the duration, and for all you simple-minded motherfuckers, I'm sorry about your attention span. Mr. Pays has programmed me to constantly remind you of the benefits of membership. And he said if you have any problems with anything, blow me.
Blow me.
I guess you guessed by now. I don't care. Yeah, and my language is foul. Fuck it. Put all your complaints in a bucket. Tell the man from Kentucky, I don't give a fuck. It's something you can suck. That's word to Uncle Chuck. You're all going straight to hell in a handbasket. How you let them look down their nose at you and auction off all of they skanky hoes to you? I guess you just figured that's what you're supposed to do. Cause you're mentally conditioned, psychologically twisted. A freestyle's biologically manufactured in a petri dish to do whatever the fuck I wish. I can't believe nobody told you, my friend. I can't believe they bought and sold you again. We ain't got no time for silence. Tyrants must be taken out with violence extreme. I seen it in a dream. Check 1, 2. I do expect it to come true. We ain't got no time for silence. Tyrants must be taken out with violence extreme. I seen it in a dream. Check 1, 2. And I do expect it to come true. Yeah, I'm on some laid back shit. Just an example of the mood that you'll get paid back with. Here's a sample of the food, and I slayed that shit. Got the blood on my hands to prove it. You better move it before you lose it. Oops, you already lost it. Came in the game hot, and you just got frosted like a donut. I stay around snatching your air. Fuck a cop, you better call Captain Eclair or Sergeant Danish. I can make it painless right after I stick this plunger up your anus. 41 projectiles from the stainless. Make them put a thick chalk line where your frame is. I thought you was told you just been bought and sold. Your soul is just gon' go, but my soul ain't worth a mil, word to more deep. I walk around this town like I had 4 feet. You look tired as fuck, you should get more sleep. You been snoozing on my shit, I can see that. Bitches talk shit behind my back, yeah, I'll be that. But in my presence, you a stuttering prick. You should get a job somewhere, buttering dicks. You watching too many movies, uttering shit right from the script verbatim. I'm more classic than Art Tatum.
And for all you simple-minded motherfuckers, I'm sorry about your attention span. I'm sorry about your attention span. Mr. Pays has programmed me to constantly remind you of the benefits of membership. And he said if you have any problems with anything, blow me.
Yeah, if you have a problem with anything, blow me. That's Payday Monsanto. Those are some of the stuff that Payday didn't get out there on his albums. I just happened to download a bunch of stuff from him. Payday Monsanto, my man, came to the first 2 Freedom Paloozas, FP1 and FP2. And we had a ball. We sure did. We had a ball at Freedom Palooza. This year, July 4th, July 5th, July 6th, Freedom Palooza 4, the 4th annual Freedom Palooza. JJ will be the host. Again, this will be my 3rd year emceeing the event. I'm like MC/stage manager. And, it is a very tiring gig, but I love it and I have a ball. It is currently nice and sunny and warm here in FEMA Region 3, upstate New York. I think, am I FEMA Region 3 or FEMA Region? I better get this down. I better figure out what FEMA region I'm in and what dialect of Chinese I'm going to be speaking. Maybe Mandarin. Yeah, that's what I'll learn. And then maybe I can, from there I'll be able to I'll be able to work my way through the camps, you know. Yes, I'm in FEMA region number 4, I believe. All right, I guess, I want to thank everybody for checking me out. This is the debut of the day, or of my once a week show. And it can be anything you guys want. You can call up. That's what I prefer. Not necessarily a call-in show where you call up and tell me how great I am. I already know how great I am. Sort of. I'm not great. I'll do in a pinch. I'm aight. For a white dude. I can't jump though. I can't jump. I can't jump up. I can jump down though, man. I can get down, baby. So I'm going to start with talking a little bit about Freedom Palooza. All right, Freedom Palooza is an event. It's a 3-day event. It's an annual event that my friends from Poker Face, Paul Tapetti, and I put together. A place. It's the way we bill it is where patriots can meet and actually discuss, not have to, not have to hide behind 3-sentence Facebook memes. I'm kind of tired of all the, you can't take a 3-sentence, 6 words on a Facebook meme with a picture and consider yourself informed. I saw a picture of a guy on a horse with a flag, hoorah! I'm going to go into my opinions. These are my opinions, mind you. I can be just as wrong as anyone else. But when someone tells you a whole slew of half-truths, you have to do some digging, some of your own digging, all right? Phone lines are open, 718-717-8269. Hello, you're on the air with Against the Wall. I'm JJ. Hello, caller. You there, bud? Have I done something wrong?
I'm here, JJ.
Oh, all right.
Hey,
What'd you do? Have yourself muted?
Yeah, I was muted and posted in the chat, Freedom Palooza. Good morning, brother.
What's up, man?
I'm proud to be the first caller to
Wow,
the new JJink.
And I want people to call me so I can interview them, so we can talk about them and how they came to be and how they, the road that they traveled to be here. Because we're not. Listen, Vinny, this isn't a. The people that listen to UCY.TV, that's UCY.TV, UCY Media Broadcast Network. We are a group of, fully informed, fully awake, researchers. There's people here, like I was telling Judas the other day, who've seen every movie, every documentary, listened to every host, read every document, we've been there, so I'm really preaching to the choir. And, and that's why I'm so interested in the people that listen to my show that come to UCY.TV, because it's not people who just saw Loose Change and they're now awake. These are, you guys that are listening to my voice have been, part of this for a long time. And, I consider myself fortunate to be friends with all of you.
I feel the same way. And, we have a great family here at UCY. It's awesome. And, we're all participants. I like to think of it like that. We're participants in this movement. And, every one of us here have a little bit of different opinion on something.
Amen. Hey, Vinny, let me just stop you real quick, bro. Let me just preface everything by saying that whether I agree with something or not, I support my friends. I'm loyal and I support my friends, and that includes the ones that are out there in the desert right now. I fully back their play. I fully back their views and their beliefs, and I'm loving and loyal to them, whether or not I agree with some of the things that have gone on behind the scenes or not, all right?
Right. And we can't, none of us can be fully, aware of everything. And, as far as the Monday deal, what I support fully is the fact that, people came together. Now, there were some people out there that were there to cause trouble, and I spent a lot of time out there camping and observing. And, some people were there to stir trouble. The fact is, the movement there is down to probably less than 20 people, I'd say, is probably there right now. And they did a good job of destroying it. We had a real good chance.
And those are the real people, dude. Those are the people I support, not the lying scumbag, cloven hoof, fundamental LDS, inbred scumbag, lying piece of crap that started it. Everybody else. I mean, right from the start, the people that are there now, the ones that believe in freedom. What's the answer? What's the question? Freedom.
Absolutely.
That's the answer to every question. Freedom, freedom, freedom. The right to say no. If I can't say no, then I have no rights whatsoever, right?
That's right.
Right. And so I don't want anyone to think that just because I have a different opinion of Cliven Bundy that I don't support and that I turn my back on anybody that does. I don't.
And I know that to be a fact. I know that you don't think that for a minute. My journey here to radio is because of you, and then ultimately because of Jules and all that she does. An incredible person. She's dedicated the last few years to building this network and has done a fantastic job. And because of her, we have a voice here on UCY.TV.
Listen,
we have a few people.
UCY is something that most of the networks aren't. All right, we're not. There's very few networks out there that have decent listenership that don't beg for money. And we're one of them. Not that I am against any person or any host or any person trying to make a buck. I just don't want to be your occupation, and I don't want you to be my occupation.
Right.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, all of us here, contribute in one way or another. Some people, make donations to the network. Some of the hosts here. So I'm like me. I do what I can as far as being able to, host the postings, and I've been doing that this weekend.
Doing a great job.
And give her some time off. I mean, she literally spends every week waking a moment, building this network.
Well, and here's the deal, Vincent. The reason that she has to, there's a reason that Jules has to spend all her waking moments on the network. And it's because we don't beg for money. We don't do money bombs. We don't have tons of cash. So everything has to be done cheaply and simply. And the way that Jules built UCY was perfection. We went small. We started out with just what we needed. And as the audience grew, Jules and her husband grew the network with it. We, got larger servers. We downgraded other things that we weren't using anymore. So, hats off to Jules. And the only way to run a network without having a lot of money, without being able to pay production, without being able to, have all these automated servers going on is to do it all by hand, which is what Jules does. And, salute.
We kind of got screwed in a way with the way Facebook runs. I know I've built somewhere about 50 pages for kind of like chapters and categories and stuff like that. Jules has a bunch of pages, and Facebook now with their algorithms, they filter who sees what we post and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, hundreds of likes on pages, and I'm getting 2 and 3 people that have now been served. So I'm going to go back and open up another Word Truth account. I lost my one I had. I don't know where it's at. And then there's another one, James and Pending, over on New World Order Truth Radio. He's got another site, that doesn't filter. So I'm going to start building those up and start promoting UCY over to some other places where people are actually interested and are not getting filtered from, this fascist book. It's almost like sometimes you get so discouraged and feel like it's a waste of time, And a lot of people here in chat, they don't even have Facebook. And,
no, man, they don't. A lot of them. Yeah. Which is a good thing. And on Facebook, you get caught up in, like I'm saying, man, people get caught up in, a picture with one sentence underneath it and think that they, now they know the story. And, Cy Girl just said it the best, man. Most of the people that listen to UCY.TV are graduates of the School of Hard Knocks. And the University of the Streets, baby. Testify, sister.
There's another good voice right there. Uncle Jimmy showed up, and he's got a great voice. He was talking with...
Yeah, his
Uncle
voice
Kelly.
is made for radio, dude.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he and
and my face is his voice and my face are both made for radio.
Yeah, I've got a voice for newsprint as far as radio goes. But you know what? That doesn't stop me, you know. But the fact that I'm not a great host, a great voice on radio, you know, some of these big names and stuff out there, you know, I'm just proof that you don't have to be anything exceptional to make a difference.
Well, I came to you know, Vince, I just came to the decision that I just didn't want to be just one more chef stirring the stew. And, you know, whatever it is that you can think to do, people ask me, you know, well, what should I do? Hey, man, you know, anything, whatever it is that you can think to do, if it's, you know, I guess even if it's just posting Facebook memes with little bits of truth, or writing poems, or writing songs, or performing, you know, the spoken word in front of other people, whatever it is that you can think to do is the right thing to do. Now, the one thing that I want everybody to understand, all right, most of the people, most of the, you know, adolescent, adolescently aware folks think that we're just on the verge of this epic battle. You know, they listen to InfoWars and they're, you know, and it's coming up, guys. It's the battle between good and evil. And if you just have just one more, you know, squatty potty, just one more DVD, you'll be armed. We're going to win. It's going to be good versus bad. It's going to be black versus white. It's going to be right versus wrong. And when we win, you know what I mean? That's just, look, this is a battle of conflicting interests that's been going on for 6,000 years since the first words were written down on paper. All right? And, you know...
Actually,
go ahead, man.
I'm sorry. I actually copy and pasted that, what you just said. You put that in chat a day or two ago, and I've got a private page that I use for doing production. I actually copied that, and I'm going to go back in and edit it and do a post of that, because I thought those are some really great words, you know. That's what a lot of people are trying to bring it to, you know. And even here in our alternative media, people, you know, that's why I don't give a crap about, you know, some of these shills. And I met a good one. I met the Pete Sen himself.
Pete Santilli, the FBI snitch?
Yeah, the first time I saw him, I didn't know who he was, but he was a shady character. And so he was walking around filming people vicariously, and that's might not be the right word, sneakily filming people. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, this guy ain't right. And I wasn't a bit surprised when I found out who he was, you know, because all I've heard about him. But anyway, so I walk up to him, I go, hey, Pete, I'm Vince Easley from UCY.TV. I said, just want to let you know, I'm a friend of Suzanne Posel and Zaza. Oh, my God, he went livid, dude. He's all like, you couldn't mess with people. They tried to destroy my network from the inside.
Good.
And I said, well, I think some pretty great folks, you know.
Good.
I
bet you that really irked him, dude. Yeah, expose him. Look, man. There is no, like I said, man, there is no epic battle. It's just a continuing battle. And, you know, and here's the deal. When you're just constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop, man, you're missing out. People, you know, are starting to forget. Let me tell you guys, you got 80, 90 years here. And, you have to enjoy some of it. You can't, you know what I mean? You have to bring some joy and peace and love. Otherwise, really, you're just wasted your time here if you just spend your life trying to please yourself.
Right. Yeah, I think there's a whole lot bigger picture involved in, it's, I don't know, maybe metaphysical or something, but, you know, you need to find that inside, which is inside of you, you know?
Well, don't get so wrapped up in your own opinions that you think that, you know,
exactly.
Exactly. That there is exactly that. Their opinions. Now, yeah, granted, a lot of us research our opinions, but they're still your opinions. I mean, you know, then you can be wrong. You are fallible. We are human.
Right? I've adopted a new word. Instead of using the word belief, I use the word notion instead of beliefs. Because, you know, it doesn't really matter what I believe, right? Because somebody believes something else, and it doesn't make it true. The belief does not mean true. And then so many people say, I believe, and then that's the truth. That's the facts, and everybody else is wrong. And no matter what it is, from religion to politics to anything else, you know, it's just an opinion. It's just a notion, and a belief, like I said, is not truth. So you need to give respect to everybody else for their notions, and as long as their notions does not, you know, impede your notions of freedom, you know, which is to me pretty self-evident. You know, a person has their rights, and they go as far as the next person's rights.
Well, here's the deal, dude. If you don't have all rights, you got no rights. So, you know, whatever. You have to function in the society that we have. And, you know, yes, you should try to, you know, discuss and not necessarily debate, but discuss, to have open discussions. I know a lot of times I seem like I'm closed-minded, but I'm not. I mean, I'm really not.
I refuse to debate. I'll bait now, and I'm a master at it.
I know. Amen, dude. That's why your fingers are all crooked. Because you can't keep your hands off yourself. No, I'm just kidding, dude. I'm kidding, Vinny, dude. I love you, brother.
Yeah, you're great, JJ. Man, I'm really proud that I've met you. 2011?
Yeah, it's been about 3-4 years we've been friends now. That's the beauty of our community. Especially if you can, you know, I'm pretty vocal, and things are, you know, here's one thing that some people should bear in mind when you're, when you're out there is, there's text, there's the written word, and unless you're very articulate and unless you can type well, and you can articulate a complete thought in words, it's hard because you don't get, you know, facial expressions and tone of voice. So when someone says, you know, you post something and then someone just says, you know, oh, I don't know, you know, I don't believe that, you know, or just says something in text, you just got to understand that we can set aside 20% of our views that just are not, or they're just, you know, face it, irreconcilably different. And but there's 80%, man. We all believe in freedom. We all believe in humanity and compassion and empathy, and those are the things that you got to latch on to. Yes, I see a lot of tension out there because look, man, I grew up on the streets. I've lived on the streets since I was 12 years old, dude. I can spot a liar, a snitch, and a cop from a mile away. And
you and I have a lot of similarities in life, and
you and I and a lot of the people that listen to our shows are similar in that manner.
Right? Yeah, I got a good read on people. You know, I'm not very often wrong, you know, from first impressions. But yeah, you can tell the evilness. Like this guy, I don't know if you know about him. They call him Little Bill. He was this militia guy or whatever that was along the borders and was supposedly after some drug smugglers, and he was interviewed in Penthouse. He's out there on the Bundy Ranch. He's just a mean prick as far as I'm concerned. And it's also been reported that, you know, that was all fake, that footage and stuff. But people showed up out there at the Bundy Ranch. People like him, you know, wanted to take control. There are these little Napoleons, or they want their Monroe Republic, if I can refer to that show, Revolution. You know, if anybody's watched it.
Dude, most of those guys are like, I forgot the word for it, for a person who goes and sticks, whenever somebody's taking a photo and somebody runs over there and sticks their face in. That's what a lot of those guys were. That's what they got out there, they got their face, they got some footage, and then they split before they could be arrested, before they could be tainted or tarred.
Yeah, a bunch of them guys boogied, man. When all they needed was some kind of little rumor, the drone strikes coming.
That was a lie from the start, dude. And you know, and I I stand by my word. I've called out Jewett Rhodes. I've called out Larry Death Merchant, fucking Pratt. I've called them all out. Richard, the Panhandler, Mac, all these constitutional oath keepers. I've called them all out. And again, I'm talking, and actually, I'm starting to see a trend that the oath keepers, the members who have joined and paid fees or dues to oath keepers, are getting ready to denounce their leadership, and I feel like I've been vindicated, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to judge each individual along the way, because those people in Oath Keepers, they're true and sincere, and I met several of them out there.
But not their leadership. Their leadership is all about money. They're all about influence, and they're all about power. Period. Point blank. And a lot of them belong to the Council for National Policy. The CNP, which isn't talked about much.
Yeah. Well, I think we see that in every type of movement, from Tea Party to whatever, the people start it, and then they get those people to go in there and, take control. And it happens all the time. That's why, I just think that, for myself, when I showed up out there, they were wanting people
to... It took a lot of courage, huh, dude? You must have had butterflies all up and down your stomach as you were approaching the scene.
Man, you know what? When we got there to the freeway, my brother made me a sign.
I know exactly where it is, because I used to live in St. George. I used to go to Mesquite. I used to take the old Vegas Highway through Bakersville or Bunkersville. I mean, I know that entire region. I know the Arizona Strip. I know the fundamentalist Mormons. I know a lot of Lost Boys who were kicked out because they got to be the age where they could start courting the younger women. So what they do is they're thrown out so that the old scumbag baby raping pedophiles can marry more 14-year-old girls and have them put on welfare. That's the thing. They marry one person, one woman, and then they marry and legally, because obviously the government is involved in marriage and has the right to say. But then they marry a bunch of other women through the mostly young girls through the church and put them all on welfare.
Well, I lived out there too, and I worked in Mesquite, and I worked in Glendale, lived in Moapa, went to
we ain't no
school
spring chickens.
Yeah. Hey, I got an interview. I need to unprivatize it. I got an interview with some of the Lost Boys my first night out there on the 11th.
Go to Hammond Drywall. It's almost everybody that works there is a Lost Boy. Yeah, it's right in St. George.
Right on. St. George's is one of the prettiest cities and cleanest cities that I've ever been to. Beautiful. Yeah, and great people there.
But here's the thing. I know people from that area, from that region, and so I'll keep my views to myself. Look, I support my friends, period. End of sentence.
Right on. Hey, talking back with, I was shaking like a dog shedding tacks. We got there when the freeway got shut down, and Metro was across the center right there, asphalt spot for a turnaround. And everybody was on would be on the right-hand side if you're going north on 15. And so I had that sign my brother made it real quick as we are the media, or no, it just said media on it. And I got another one, you see why it's all over national news. I'm out there. You see why that's TV. All right. But anyway, so I walk up. I crossed the interstate. I walk out there. The cops are letting one lane go through. Highway patrol is, and Metro's over there in the center. And I walk up. I said, "I'm the media. I have some questions." And the highway patrol stops traffic. Come on. So I go over there and I build up my nerve, and I'm going to walk up to this line of cops, man. And I am shaking so bad. My phones are dying. The batteries are going. I drop my phone. It's already the screen. The iPhone I got's already smashed. But I drop it again. And I ain't kidding. I didn't know what was going to happen, whether, they're going to, mace me or some rubber bullets, but I've had all that before. So, I know it wasn't going to kill me, but I thought, these guys could kill me, And I go up and try to ask questions, and nobody will respond except for don't come any further. And I'm all like, I set everything down. I raised my shirt. I said, I'm not armed. And I said, I have questions for the people. And of course, nobody would answer. And about that time, somebody...
Listen, I'm sorry. Go ahead, dude. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They've got him pinned down under the bridge, and in the west side of the interstate. They got cows penned up way back up in there. So anyways, I get down there, and it's a steep hill, and you know, I got this arthritis, and then it's like, then I get down there, if I get down there, it's going to be probably a tumble and a fall. But all people went down there, and young kids, so I guess maybe I don't have any excuse. But I didn't go up to the gate. I sat up there, and I got a lot of pictures till I finally went dead on my phone. Of the scenes down there. My cousin, he was down there. He bought like old World War One, or maybe two. I don't know. It's got a clip. Still a regular Army issue, but people were down there. Nobody. I did see one picture. One guy had a sniper. He was on the bridge, and it's not the one picture that everybody else sees all over the media. That guy, he didn't have a clear line to the BLM. Well, actually, I believe that was Metro SWAT team that was down there, and it wasn't a BLM or a federal SWAT team. I think that's been some misinformation. But you know what? I'm proud to have been there. I was part of history. It may be a Forrest Gump moment, but hey, look, I was up there on the stage with Cliven Bundy and Gillespie, and you ought to have seen the sneers on his face on Gillespie. He's an evil prick.
Gillespie sits on. Listen, Gillespie is closely associated with the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
My opinion of all the Bundys that I met, I don't know if they're FLDS or if they're, you know, or whatever. I didn't talk to them about their religion, but just their actions I saw are exemplary. I didn't notice that anybody has any more than one wife, but a really big family, and I've met a lot of their family. My opinion is they're all very good people. And you know, I don't have the same.
Well, they started this whole thing out with lies. So I'm not falling for it, dude. Their family hasn't farmed there. Their family hasn't ranched there for hundreds of years. They're talking about the Mormons. That is the only law, the only authority they recognize is their church. That's all I got to say. And if I was going to ask you to come back now. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. The Bundys have a big enough clan and a large enough gathering of relatives that they were going to do what they did regardless. Everything else came as an extra. I mean, listen to me. If you were just listening, you had this ready-made op, you know, just ready to go. All you have to do is just keep your ears peeled in the deserts of southern Utah, southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and eventually this is going to happen. This is typical for the fundamental Mormons. It happens all the time. Now, again, what happened up on the highway, guys, it was separate. I mean, but they start this whole thing out with lies. That he's been ranching this land for hundreds of years, that his family's been there since before. It's a lie. It was all a lie. Yes, you can see, yeah, they're probably good people, dude. They probably really are. But if I ask you to come back my play, man, I owe you the respect of telling you the truth, of not saying, hey, you know, I just stuck my foot out in front of a car. Now I've been hit by a car. Yeah. You deserve that much respect. You came out there, dude. You came out there with the butterflies in your stomach, with the courage to come out and stand up for something. But I didn't have the courage to just be truthful and honest.
Well, you know, the way I look at it, and this has been my stand the whole time, I didn't come out there to be a part of anything except for to represent myself and freedom for all. And that includes, every bit of freedom that we could all, very easily define. Now, I got interviewed on Channel 3, which I thought was great, and then Channel 13 was shooting, the photographer. He was filming the reporter. So I said, "Oh, this is a perfect opportunity. This is going out live." So I go right in behind the reporter and fire up the joint, hit that thing, and I look over at the camera. Free the weed. Hey, if it's about freedom, let's make it all about
free the weed, free the seed.
Yeah, right? It's a plant. How do you make a plant illegal? And that's why I oppose legalization of marijuana. It shouldn't be legalized. It shouldn't be illegal to start with.
Amen, dude. Amen, brother. Did I lose you?
Hey, JJ, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to go
All right,
get to post up Shaliak's coming up next after you. Hey, I'm so glad you're back, JJ. You're awesome, man. Everybody loves you. Wow, we got a bunch of people in chat. A bunch of numbers in here. That's awesome. So you rock, dude.
All right,
keep on
thanks.
keeping on.
I'm gonna
Big
too.
love, y'all. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in. I'm not really sure. If what's going on. If I'm fading in and out. Look, listen, guys. You can never change a system by killing people that are just doing their fucking job. All right? That's why they're just pushing for it. That's why they just can't wait. Both sides. Because half of our side is controlled by the other side. They can't wait to get some shit started. They can't allow peaceful revolution. They can't allow 300 million peaceful revolutions in America. They can't allow that. They have to have dispute. They have to have inner turmoil just to justify their very existence. All right, so now let me break this down. Some of the things, all right? Now, I will say this. Fuck the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, and the federal government. But I am an American, all right, guys? I grew up in this country. I was born here. I was held accountable and put in prison for most of my life by this country here. But I'm still proud to be an American, and I still think that you're just as free. Look, you're as free as you want to be. They want you to think. You got to think about this. Cultural Marxism. Think about it. You know what I mean? All these different movements, all these different protected people. Was it really so bad to be gay 20 years ago? That you had, you know, if someone called you a fag, so now they have to be arrested for hate speech, or because you run your mouth and someone steps up and says, "Hey, dude, you just ran your mouth to the wrong guy." So now all of a sudden he's a bully. No, I don't. I'm not a statist, but I understand the fact that we live in a system. It's here. It's not like, you know, this, I mean, it's not as bad as everybody wants you to believe. And there's risks being free. And I'm going to tell you something. Cloven Hoof Bundy wouldn't back your play in a minute if you didn't belong to his church. Okay, we'll break down a few things. The tasing, supposedly, allegedly, and I've seen the video, all right? I wasn't there, but I have a friend who was there. Allegedly, one of Clive and Bundy's sons was tased. And in the video, the cops tased him 3 times. The guy never even flinched. So so how do you get tased? I've been tased. And I peed myself. I mean, you don't just rip the freaking prongs out of your chest, and you know what I mean? When you get tased, you get buckled. That's one. 2, you know, the fact that he's been on that land and ranching that land for hundreds of years, a lie. I have the census records. His family's not from that area. They didn't move to that area until 1901. His ranch wasn't bought until 1959. That's just a couple of lies. Then all of a sudden there was this, oh my God, it's Harry Reid. He's trying to move. Look, and I'm not saying that Harry Reid ain't a piece of crap. Okay? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, so there was these stories that all these info whores and guerrilla media retards are pumping out. Oh, they're getting rid of them. They've got to deal with the Chinese to make a solar farm. First of all, it was 100 miles away. Second of all, it was canceled. So that's a half-truth. Oh, they're fracking. The fracking site is close to 200 miles away. Another half-truth lie. Just about everything that's come out of there. Well, they're killed, you know, they're trying to steal his property. That was trespassing, all right? The fences have been cut, and of course, Clive and Bundy as typical of all millionaire ranchers who think they can do anything, that the laws or don't apply to them, says, well, I didn't cut them, and it's not my responsibility to fix a cut fence. That's the oldest rancher story in the book. Now remember, it wasn't but 100 years ago where out west the ranchers were the bad guys. Remember? And I'm not saying I'm not going into that, but I have a lot of friends who are ranchers. Some of them out there, a lot of them here where I live in New York. All right. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm trusting that. I'm just saying, man. There's so many lies and so many half-truths about it that, and they were hoping to get some. And they were hoping to get something started. Absolutely. You get Pete Santilli right out front. Like, organize, sort of the FBI agent in the wings, sort of, telling people what to do and where to go and how to be and how to react. And then all of a sudden, I see Jewett Rhodes is on his way out and Sheriff Richard Mack is coming and, all is going to be good because the Oath Keepers are coming and, so I saw through it right from the start. Now, again, I support all my friends that are there. Right or wrong. We're friends, and right or wrong, man, I step in it with you with both feet, with both boots, we'll ride the river together, regardless of whether I totally agree or not. But those are the reasons that I was skeptical. Those are the reasons. Again, can you change a system? Essentially, a system that's thousands of years old. It's been tweaked, and they changed the words so that you think, that you're, that it's something that it isn't. But, a system of control has been in place since, the start. There's always going to be people at the top. There's always going to be people at the bottom. And I regret, that I didn't use a little more tact. Sometimes you have to know when not to say something. But believe me, all right, when the blood starts flowing in the fucking streets, all right, and it's your, it's your family or it's your daughter, and a lot of you, a lot of you don't have kids, so you don't give a goddamn about my kids, about my children, but you're going to sit there and try to tell me, I'm doing this for the future of America. No, you're not. Most of them are doing whatever they do for influence, for power, for money, to solicit donations, to drive traffic to their websites. And the Mormons, and the fundamentalist Mormons, are so much like Jews and the Zionists that it's hard to differentiate. They're professional victims. The only difference is you can talk about Mormons, you can't talk about Jews. But believe me, I know about Mormon history. And, hey, the one thing I do say is I respect the fact that they will stand up, all right? The Mormons will stand up. The Mormon church will. You know what I'm saying? They're agitators, and they have been. But I could never get on board with a movement of people that was, they call their land, they call Utah Zion. Maybe maybe it's because, they put me in prison there and, put me on diesel therapy and drove me all around the state and kept me in holding cells for weeks on end. I don't know. Maybe I am a little jaded. Maybe it's because I know. Listen, I lived in Centennial Park, just outside of Colorado City. I have a little bit of knowledge of these people. Now, I will say that that some of the best people I ever met were these Lost Boys. They took me in, they helped me out, they got me a job, they bought me tools. I mean, I couldn't ask for more, and that's why I'm possibly so jaded towards the leadership of their church. I mean, that's my... I just don't want people to think that because I don't agree with something that I don't like them, or that whatever. I've been getting, like I said, man, I'm getting death threats from these fucking militia pieces of shit. And all I can say is pack a lunch, you POS. And, why be anonymous? If you're such a big, tough guy, just, tell me who you are and where we can meet. But anyways, enough. Enough about that. I just wanted to clarify why I have said what I've said about Cloven, Illuminati Bundy. And yes, according to Fritz Springmeier, now I haven't talked to him myself yet, but, this Bundy bloodline is the Bundy Illuminati bloodline. That doesn't mean that every person is involved or that every person even knows what the Illuminati is, for Christ's sakes. And I saw SPLC written all over Cliven Bundy and this incident, which is still ongoing. Yes, they believe that they are the lost tribe. They believe that when Jesus Christ was crucified, he came to America. That's what the Mormons believe. Where should I go from here? I did sort of stumble on this article last night that, it bears repeating, because this is the other, this is the other bone of contention. Look, between Sandy Hook and Bundy, I've realized that most of the alternative media is a joke, and most of the twofer movement is a bunch of adolescent panhandling, squatting left-wingers. Not even right-wing. It's the right-wings that are coming after me right now. And it's the Sandy Hook. I was all on board, dude. Guys, I used to be, if you've listened to my show, man, I've changed, I've evolved. Now I'm a bitter, cynical, and it's because there's gatekeepers out there. There's the Alex Jones and all of his guests. Most of the people that go on their shows. I'm tired. I was tired. I get tired of trying to interview all these people. They all say the same thing. And you can listen to Bill Cooper from 15 years ago talk about the coming collapse. You can listen, to activists. Even Eustace Mullins was talking about it 30, 40, 50, years ago. You are free. Freedom has risk. All right? I do whatever I want. I'm a man who respects other people, so in doing whatever I want, I try not to victimize or harm other people. Not that I haven't all my life. I was an alcoholic, drug user from the age of 13 till I was 30. I pissed a lot of people off. I've betrayed people. Never ratting or anything like that, but by betray I mean, stealing from a friend or something like that, which I have done, which I regret. There's a few things in my life that if I could do it over, I wouldn't do. And that would be to betray a friend, someone who trusts you. Someone who didn't judge you. And that's one of the things that I'm trying not to do. All right, but with all of the, the half-truth Sandy Hook and the half-truth Bundy crap, you can't just grab a half-truth and say, well, it doesn't matter, fuck the government. If I ask you to back my play, and then you all come out and then find out that, half of what I said was a lie, wouldn't you feel like an idiot? So swallow your pride and realize that you've been duped, that you're part of, And I'm proud to be friends with people that have the courage to go out and set up camp. But my focus is always going to be 300 million peaceful revolutions in America. Because with the violent one, you're never going to get, that's not going to benefit us. We will not win in the end, even if we win. Holy fuck, can you imagine living in a country with Alex Jones, as an advisor to the, to the government, or, Larry Pratt, or, can you imagine Pete Santilli running around? Would you want, because at the end of every revolution is the roundups. It's the, everybody wants to start this, but nobody wants to decide yet, what are you going to do with the people that don't agree with you? What do you do with people from the other side? And, the thing that I've learned in the last 8 years is we make strides all the time, man, but we're not told about it. We're told that, if we just, keep our guns loaded and, shoot through the walls if they knock on your door. You're not going to change the system by killing people that are just doing their job. They're just as fooled as you are, or were. So no, I'm sorry, but I would die for a lot more than I would kill for. I'm sorry, some people may not understand that. All revolutions are funded. That's why they have to be, anything that starts out green and organic has to be almost immediately. You see Libya, you see Egypt, you see Syria, you see Ukraine, you see America. Why is it different here? Why do you people think it's different here? Why? Because this is America? So when this revolution starts, it's all wholesome and organic? I'm just trying to point out the fucking feds and the snitches in the movement. That's all. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to even stop it. I'm just trying to keep people from killing each other. That's all. That's all, man. That's it. I spent a lot of time, right, in prison. I've seen what's effective, all right? Here, let me show you. Let me tell you. A riot, when you're in prison, just gets everybody locked down. Lots of tear gas, lots of bean bags, lots of ruckus. Nothing changes. Things get worse. Now, on the other hand, I have been involved in sit-downs. Every single person refused to rack in. Every single person refused to eat their food. Every single person refused to go to their job. Within hours, the warden, the lieutenants, the ombudsman, the undersheriff, wherever it is you are, show up. That is how you make effective change. And it never happens until things are so bad that everybody sees it. And they have us trapped in a system of contempt, where every once in a while one person stands up and says, no, screw it, I'm not going to take it anymore. And then they tie him up into a pretzel and they haul him off to the hole. So I've seen it from both sides. I've seen what's effective. I see all these revolutions, these color revolutions, all over the world. We all have seen them. We all have established and come to the realization that the minute they get big enough to affect a change, a real change, they get co-opted and things start getting violent. And I mean, I know I really have pissed some people off. Which wasn't and isn't my intention. But if you think that I'm going to sit here as a gatekeeper, as a piece of shit lying son of a bitch that would rather watch you shoot it out with the cops so I could report on it, you're wrong. You're far. It'll never happen that way. You're not my occupation, and I'm not your occupation. We're a community of love. We're a community of loyalty towards each other. I've known some of the people that listen to my show for 7, 8 years now. I don't try to make people angry. But I'm also not going to try to get the shooting started. How many protests? How many freaking groups have you been in? What is the first freaking rule? The guy who's talking about shooting cops or breaking windows is always the fucking Fed. Pardon my language. Always the freaking Fed. And I've been fooled a million times. I got fooled by Occupy Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? I've been fooled too. But I admit it because I want to move on. Because I don't want to just hold on to something, because I don't want to admit that I was wrong, that I got the short end of the stick, that I made, that I was fooled, and that I feel foolish, and I don't want people to look at me as though, oh, he was fooled. No, I want people to look at me as though I'm an honest man, right, who admits when he's wrong. Because if you see something that's wrong, right, and you don't say, hey, that's wrong, you're saying loud and fucking clear, that's right. I agree with that. And you can feign ignorance. I didn't know, but you know in your heart, and you'll be judged in the end. All you'll have left at the end of the day is your body of work. And I endeavor to have my body of work to be honest. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I do the events that I do. That's why because I believe in defending myself, and I believe in defending my family and my friends and my loved ones. But I don't believe that a revolution here in the United States will be any different than the ones that we've watched that are funded by the left or the right. Just be free and understand sometimes there's risks. You want to smoke pot in front of the courthouse? Do it, but understand there's a risk. And don't go out there and smoke pot in front of the courthouse and then wonder why you're sitting in the booking department and cry, poor me. Or if you want to play Frogger and you run out onto the middle of a busy street and you're doing great and you're confident and proud, but then you get hit by a car. Don't blame the car. Just be free, if that's what freedom is to you. And just understand that being free carries a certain amount of risk. And there's respect. What about respect? Do you need a Bible? Do you need a book? Do you need a commandment? Do you need a list of rules to understand that if you step on somebody's toe, that if you bump into somebody accidentally, that you say, excuse me, not watch what the frick you're doing? You don't. Because we are good people. We're good men and women. If it bleeds, it leads, man. We're fooled into thinking everybody's an idiot. Everybody's violent. Everybody's, wrong. That everybody, needs to be told what to do. We're a nation of idiots. Yeah, we need laws. And that's my stance. That's where I stand. That's what I want to see. I want to see things change. And they have. They are. We have organic co-ops popping out. We have citizen grand juries all over the country. We have, people that are willing to lock arm in arm against armed government, who aren't afraid to say, hey, what you're doing is wrong, and I'm not going to try to cancel your wrong with a wrong of my own. Because I don't need a freaking book or a law to tell me to shoot somebody unprovoked. It's wrong. I don't need that. I know that. I already know that. Anybody else? 718-717-8269. Call me up. Let me interview you. I'll give you 5-10 minutes. I'll ask you some questions, and it won't be, why do you believe this or why don't you believe that? Who wants to hear me? Who wants to know more about me? Holy Christ. You know everything there is to know about me. I got no more skeletons in my closet. It's like we're married. You know as much about me as my wife. My wife is over there rolling her eyes right now. I love you, baby. I've been fortunate in my life. And I consider you my family, these people that are listening to my show right now. I consider you, more than just potential donors, you know what I mean? Again, I come back to, I realized that I was just one of the chefs stirring the stew, and there's enough of them. So, I bowed out gracefully, or not so gracefully, however you might, want to view that. So I laid out, why. It's 8269. Oh, what did I do? Say it wrong? 718-717-8269. That's 718-717-8269. If you don't call my show, I'm coming to your house. All right, where should we go from here? This is the first time I've been on the air in a while. Obviously, you can tell that I'm a little bit rusty. I don't even know if do I sound okay? I never even bothered to sound check. I've had cats and kids on my mixer, buttons pushed, dials changed. My next show, you have my word that I'll sound check myself. Did I say it wrong? Oh, it's 8296. What did I say? Oh, 8269. Oh, well, don't call. Oh, I've got dyslexia. My wife has dyslexia, but I've got dyslexia. Oh, yeah, Jax knows I'm lying because I said I was going to come to it. Yeah, but you called, didn't you, bud? All right, so call in number 718-717-8296. That's 718-717-8296. Oh, I do sound all right. Well, okay, then. How about this one here, guys? This made me laugh yesterday. Attorney accidentally sues himself. So this guy, right? There's an attorney in Illinois who, I mean, you guys know that lawyers are scum. That Shakespeare was right. Kill all lawyers. Didn't I just finish saying you shouldn't kill people? All right, then maim them. Maim them and mark them. Lawyers should have a big L branded into their foreheads. They should be marked for life. So this attorney decides that he's going to try to talk this person into filing a class action lawsuit against a company that wrote a mortgage and sold it. And this is all over like a $60 fee. And so the lawyer signs her up for the class action lawsuit handled by himself and a few of other law firms, and including a couple of prominent law firms there. It then comes out that the company called Center Title was owned by this lawyer himself. He ended up suing himself, had to dismiss himself from the case, which was dropped. So now that I've given out the proper call-in number, 718-717-8296, we have a caller on the line. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hey, JJ, how you doing? It's Chuck O'Celli, man.
Hey, Chuck O'Celli, what's up, brother?
Look, man, I was just listening to you. I didn't hear you getting any calls in, so I wanted to say this. I'm glad to hear you back on, and I'm glad to hear you're back to your way of honesty, brother. That's all. That's all I was looking to say.
Honesty. You know. Thank you. I may not be right, but at least I'm honest, right?
Look, man, as long as you're speaking from your heart, and that's the way you're doing it, I'm proud to be on the same air with you.
Oh, dude, thanks. That's Chuck O'Celli, the O'Celli effect. 3 days a week now, right?
Oh, yeah. I do Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday now.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. That's what I used to do when I was over at Orion. I did Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
Yep. And you were the first guy I was on the air with over here, too, so.
That's right, man. That's right. And we got a couple of new shows coming up. We got a new show with Judas. I'd like to know what his real name is. I don't think that's his real name, but Judas Crowley will be starting a show. Last night we had a new show that started. It was a good one.
Yeah, I caught part of that. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely. Things are moving and shaking, but I'm just real glad that you're back. And even if it's just Sundays, you know.
Well, this is all that my schedule will permit for now, so I thought I'd ease into it again.
Yeah, I hear you. I understand. But I hear you sitting there speaking from your heart. And by the way, your sound quality is great.
Is it?
Just so you know. Yeah, I was listening to you on the TuneIn app, and you're coming across real good. So
that's TuneIn.
Yep. You can get UCY on the TuneIn app on your mobile devices too, just so everybody knows.
I happen to like TuneIn. I've listened to many shows on TuneIn. It's a great app, and it's good quality too. Yeah, thanks, Chuck. What's coming up on the next O'Celli effect?
I'm just going to go back over and check in with that whole Earthship Solution thing in Colorado, and probably talk to a couple of people about some articles on the web that they wrote. A few things like that on Tuesday. Thursday, I'm not quite sure yet, because you know how it is with guests and stuff. I've had people pull out on me and change their mind.
Oh, yeah, dude. Try planning a 3-day event a year in advance. But you know what I mean? But we invite 30 bands, and by the time the event shows up, most of them, they're either broke up or they have to, you know what I mean? The drummer quit or they're, you know what I'm saying? So I know all about it.
I was a musician for years, so that's one thing you can't depend on, is that you'll have the same people you're talking to 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but
they might still be.
Huh? Go ahead, man.
They might still be together, but you might not be talking to the same person in charge anymore, or yeah, that's the way it always goes. Good on you for even pulling that one off, because that's hard to do, and especially with more freedom-minded type people, you're going to have a harder time, because artists are already a problem as far as getting them together, and then when you try and get people that are actually interested in being free thinkers, I mean, please. Try and get 5 of us together to figure out what kind of pizza to order, bro. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. That's why you got to focus on the 80%, man. That's why I want you to come up, man. Come up. Come to Freedom Blues. I'll put you on stage. We're 80%ers, dude. We leave the 20% that are irreconcilable at the gate, and we all camp, and we all become friends. And it makes it a lot easier to overlook your irreconcilable differences when you can shake hands and hug somebody.
When is it this year?
It's July 4th, 5th, and 6th. Before the end of the show, I'll give the entire layout. We have, let's see, I'm going to add another caller. When it rains, it pours, right? Oh, caller, you can call back. I missed your call. July 4th, 5th, and 6th, just outside of Easton, Pennsylvania. It's not far from Allentown, Bethlehem area, right on the Delaware. It's a great event, a great venue, and I can't say enough about it. I will, before the end of the show, spend a few minutes talking about it, who I know is coming this year, who was there last year. But we'll put you on stage. You can, whatever presentation you want to make. Or you can just come hang out, dude. Drew came last year. Drew Shalley in the house.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. I'll have to see if I can pull it off,
Yeah, if you can, do it. We got Jack Blood coming up this year. Jack will be there. He has confirmed.
Well, I didn't know he was feeling up to it yet.
Yeah, he's coming. We got Mark Farner, hopefully coming down from Grand Funk Railroad. And, again, we're still working on Roger Waters. All right, now I'm going to answer this other call. You can either stay on or hop off, Chuck. Charles, sorry.
No problem. Chuck is good.
Okay, caller, you're on the air.
Well, good morning, JJ. This is Gringo down in Texas.
I recognize that voice. My man, Gringo.
How you doing this morning, man? Just wanted to call and say great to hear your voice on the radio again. And, we all support you, brother.
Thanks, man. That's why I do it. That's why I wasn't, the only reason I was apprehensive about starting a show is, one, my connection, and two, I've done so many times I've made the commitment and then let people down, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to make another commitment that I wasn't going to be able to keep, so I figured if I just kept it once a week, it's simple. I know I can keep that commitment, and I won't let anybody down.
Yep, and I think the quality of the show will stay up the whole time, too, because you have so much more time to prepare what you're after there, bud.
Amen, dude. It's all about preparation. But, one of the things that, like I said, I realized that I was just one of the chefs in the stew, and, I stepped out. I just didn't have time to be a chef. I got to eat too. You know what I'm saying?
I've been there too, brother. I've been there too, man. We all got to do what we got to do to keep paying the bills and making things happen.
Yeah. What's the weather like in Texas? Is it unbearable yet down there?
No, man, it's actually been pretty decent. We've been getting some rain, catching a little bit up on the drought situation down here. Had about 5.5 inches over the last 3 days. So no complaints there, man.
So if I end up coming out there this year to Round Rock, we're definitely going to have to get together.
No doubt, man. I would be highly upset if we didn't.
We will. Oh, man, we definitely will. So, I mean, I hope that, in the last hour I've cleared a few things up, because a lot of people were starting to really dislike me over some of the things that I've said. But I just wanted people to understand that, man. You can't just, you got to have full articulate thoughts in your head before you can just go off half-cocked on something. Oh,
no doubt about it, man. That's it. I'll be real honest. I've stopped listening to most shows for that very reason, and I think a lot of other people are the same. That's why being sure and letting people know that it is an opinion when you throw it out there, I think that's so important, man.
Oh, yeah, because I'm fallible, dude. But the one thing that I've always wanted to be as a host, or as a, whatever it is that you want to call me, is a voice on the air, was what I wanted to be was like your buddy, one of your good friends who had questions about things. Not, necessarily a person who, a conspiracy theorist or whatever. We're getting a lot of labels, but I just wanted to be a guy that asked questions that just maybe an ordinary guy who sees things that are, it's crazy. I mean, face it. Basically, if you watch the news, you realize that we're all, you know what I mean? We're always right. Our government's always right, and everybody else is always wrong. And after a while, you start thinking that can't be right, because I've dealt with the bureaucracy, and they're not right. They always treat you like a number. So I just thought, after spending go ahead, man.
Well, we all need that sounding board to bounce our ideas off of, and no matter how crazy they might sound, it makes you, just to get it off your chest and bounce it off somebody else and see what they think about it. It's good stuff, man. How else are we going to get to the bottom of this stuff?
Exactly. Just so people know, you and I met each other at Deprogram, and that was like, I mean, dude, I was still listening to Alex Jones then. You know what I'm saying? I've come a long way. I've done a lot of growing up in this movement since you and I first started hanging out together. And that's why I try to tell people, there isn't, guys, you're waiting for this epic battle that's not going to happen. And that's why people get so freaking frustrated after a year or two of being, whatever, quote, awake, and nothing's changed, because, and then they get frustrated, and that's when they want to start, doing
become apathetic,
Yeah.
And that was a good point you brought up about deprogram, and yeah, we've both done a lot of growing in this period of time since we've met, and that's one thing I like about UCY. The ego doesn't get caught up in there so much that it ruins a community, and that's it's something I've seen happen to so many different good sites and good communities, and these communities that come together like this one has end up busting up, and it's just a sad thing, man, because we need to make more connections. The more connections we make, the better.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's harder to hate somebody you've hugged or shook hands with, go. Or broke bread with, so to speak.
That's it, man. And there's so many in this community that I feel like I could sit down and break bread with, and you never know, we might meet us in Underground Railroad one of these days.
Dude, that was like my original, like whatever, my original in my mind, what I was doing when I first started radio was like, I had this thought in my head that I'm creating this new age Underground Railroad where we would help each other, where, and it is sort of true. I mean, like, if I were to travel across the country right now, I wouldn't really need to rent a hotel room. I've got friends in every state now that would let me crash at their house and just want to hang out for a night. And So in that sense, I feel like rather than trying to, split people up, I have actually helped. It's not by any means am I solely responsible for anything, but as far as in our little community, I feel like I feel like I'm doing something to help rather than hinder. Even if I do have opposing views to certain things, I still have definitely directional love, man. My love is pointed at everybody. You know what I'm saying? I've never turned anybody down for anything, and anything I can ever do to help anyone, I try. I guess that's, the best that I can do. I am cynical, and from being in this movement, from seeing all the rats and the snitches and the punks, because again, there are those in every group, but I'm trying not to let that jade me, and I try to still say, hey man, even though you, you've come at me, not you personally, but, quite a few people. I still want, I can still let bygones be bygones.
Sure. Just because we disagree on things doesn't mean that we can't still continue to discuss things and be friends even. I mean, heck, any relationship you're in, you're going to disagree with that person at some point in time. If not, man, how boring of a friend would that be,
Yeah. No, it would. You wouldn't. It would be Alex Jones with a bunch of yes men.
Well,
do you think anyone at InfoWars disagrees with Alex Jones? Hell no. Ask Jack Blood what happens when you disagree with Alex Jones.
He'll lead it just the way he wants it led, and that's it. Anything else, he'll stamp out, man.
Yeah, so that's not. I would never want to be surrounded by yes men who go, JJ said it? Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then run around telling people. The last thing in the world I want anyone to say is, I know it's true because JJ said it. What I would love for people to say is, JJ mentioned something that caused me to go research this or that. And I found,
Amen, man.
This is
Amen.
what I found.
Well, and you brought up a good point a while ago, too, about it's easy in this whole movement, whatever you want to call it, to get drawn in and focus on all the bad we see. It's real easy to do, and I've seen it burn people out. Heck, I've been there myself. And that's why I think it's such get something positive going. My thing, gardening, man. I've really got into the gardening thing the last few years. Just getting out there and listen. Yes,
that is picking up all over the country. That's a win. That's a win, man. People all over the country are realizing organic, heirloom, non-hybrid, non-GMO. And it hasn't happened with us shooting people.
Exactly. And, it's across the board. When I go out to nurseries and stuff, because I can't pass up a plant rack anymore. When I go out to nurseries, it's all ages, young, old, and all socioeconomic classes, too. They're all there. Gardening is becoming a big thing, and it does make you feel good to look around and see that, because that's knowledge that had been lost or was going away that's coming back again. People are seeking out that knowledge again. And it's a good thing to see, man. Makes your heart feel good.
Yeah, I agree. And that's just one. I mean, there's several small, movements out there that are growing that are not centered on changing other people, but centered on changing themselves, man.
What a concept, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
What a concept.
You can't, how can you hope for peace, but you're afraid to be a peaceful person? How can you hope for kindness and compassion and empathy, but you refuse or you lack the ability to be kind or compassionate or empathetic? It takes courage, man. I think it takes a lot more courage to be forgiving and to be empathetic and to not be aggress as much.
Sure. And it's a thing that's been lost in this country. People holding the doors open. In my travels across the country, that's one thing I've noticed, and I don't know if it's just a Texas thing or what, but you hold the door open for somebody and they look at you crazy. You walk up to this counter at the convenience store and say good morning, and heck, they look surprised that you even spoke to them. I mean, those are just basic things that humans do for each other. I mean, that's the way I was raised.
They look
anyway.
at you with suspicion, huh? What's
Yeah,
this guy want?
Yeah, he has an ulterior motive here. Is he hitting on me? What's going on? You know, and
Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you a quick little story. A friend of mine and I were fishing a couple of years ago, right? And there was this old guy with a really long yard, and his lawnmower was broke at the end of the yard down near the hole that we were fishing at. So my friend and I just out of the blue went up there and asked him if we could help him push his lawnmower. I mean, he had a lawn like almost a football field. So, and it was this old guy. So we pushed his lawnmower up to his driveway and put it up on blocks for him so he could work on it, because he wouldn't let us touch it. It's his lawnmower. But anyways, when we got done and we turned around, we started to walk back to grab our fishing poles. He goes, "So, what's this going to cost me?" And I was like, I didn't even know what to say. Nothing. I mean, but you know, that's what a life of cynicism gets you. Somebody just out of the clear blue helps you out, and you just can't understand.
You know, my grandfather had a saying. It was "Favor con favor se paga." You pay a favor with a favor.
Amen, dude.
And you know, yeah, every now and then you get burned, but that's just the way I was raised, man.
Me too. Not unfortunately, but fortunately, I'm like that myself, man. I think that's sadly lacking. And I smile at people all the time, dude, and so I know exactly what you're saying. When I was a kid, when you smiled at one of your elders, they smiled back. "Oh, what a nice little boy," you know. "Oh, that's little Jimmy." Now, they look at you like, "Oh, this guy's going to snag my wallet or something. He's just waiting for me to go in the store so he can steal my car."
Yeah, you know, that's one thing I raised my son to say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, you know, with some manners. And nowadays, well, hell, he's 19 now, but he's still that way, but we always got compliments so often, when it used to be all kids talk like that. All kids had some respect. And, you know, you expected it out of a kid. And now it's just such a rare thing to see that in a kid. You know, it's just the state things have become, but doesn't mean it can't go back the other way.
I'll just be happy. I've raised my children to be kind, to love people, to be kind, to apologize, to say they're sorry if they hurt, and I'm happy with that. Now, are my kids perfect? No, but they're kind, and that's enough for me.
Well, JJ, I tell you, man, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I just want to call and tell you, glad to hear your voice back on the radio, and keep up the good work, brother. And if you ever need anything, you let us know, man.
All right, man. Thank you. That's Gringo from Austin, Texas. Thanks for calling up. Pardon me. So, yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better, man. Respect and kindness. Yeah, you're gonna be had. You're gonna get beat. You're gonna get the short end of the stick occasionally. That doesn't make you less than. And don't forget, and when you're dealing with other people, one of the things that I've always realized is not everybody has the same ability to get back up, to pick themselves up off the ground. You may only have, 5 of them in your life. You might only have, some people can only get flattened 4 or 5 times and they can't take anymore. Some people can just take it and keep getting up. That's why I talk about empathy, about walking a mile in another man's shoes. That's why I talk about having the courage to be peaceful, to be what you talk. You're going to fly an American flag, be an American. That doesn't mean be a statist or a government shill. Be an American. Don't be an African American, an Italian American, a Hispanic American. Just be an American American. Screw our government. Screw the powers that shouldn't be. Just be yourself. Be free. If you have to pay the price for it, do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what other people are going to think of you. Maybe it's because I've lived in the dumpster in my life that I'm not worried about what other people think of me. I do react when I'm threatened or you know, when somebody issues the fighting words. But I'm sure as hell not worried about what opinions are. You heard what I had to say about the situation in southern Nevada, the region. Don't let that fool you into thinking that I don't back or that I'm not on the side of, you know, the little man. But you just got to have all the facts, man. You got to realize we're not exceptional. We're just drops in the bucket, man. And if you don't, you know, you can be a lone drop that just floats around and bumps into other drops, but never clings, never coalesces. But let's coalesce, man. We can be a big blob instead of a dot. 300 million peaceful revolutions. There's nothing they can do. There's no way to stop that. Shouting BLM, shooting people doing their job isn't going to change the Zionist, usurist, debt, you know, bondage that we've been placed under. It's not just here, it's global. They want you to think you can't be free, but you really are. You really can be. You can't. You don't need somebody's permission to be free. You don't need someone's permission to be happy. Yeah, I had a vision one time. You guys are going to be like, what? Dude had a vision? And yes, it was on LSD. I was like 14 years old. I was a runaway from a foster home, living in the woods. And I went to someone's house in this apartment complex. Took a bunch of acid, mescaline actually. And man, I must have been close to death. I must have been close to ODing or alcohol poisoning or something. I just remember being in a bathroom, and I saw hell, man. I saw what it is. It's not a burning pit of fire. It's absence of everything. Absence of everything. Of sight, of smell, of color, of light. It's just you, your consciousness, and nothing. Except for the overwhelming feeling of a presence that you can't see, you can't touch, you can't hear, you can't feel, you can't smell. So don't go through life absent of your senses, man. Love and trust, those are things that all humans can understand, man. It's something that everybody can get behind. Whoops, what'd I do? Oh, sorry, guys. I hit the conclusion. We're not at the conclusion. Not absinthe. Now, I do know the proper way to drink absinthe, although I'm never drinking it. If you want to see a green leprechaun, You pour your absinthe, what was it, over ice or over sugar cubes. Never mind. You go ahead and see green leprechauns if you want. I've seen them. I've seen them. And I know, man, I know hell isn't fire. Hell is nothing. Eternal absence of everything other than the realization of yourself. And that's scary, to be alone. To be absent of everything. And you don't have to be like that. We're better than that. We can see through all of that. And that's why we can get together, and that's why we've been friends for years now. Alright, I guess I gotta spend a few minutes cruising through the headlines, I suppose. I don't know, I don't want to do it, man. You guys have heard all the news. If it didn't happen 5 minutes ago, you know. All right, we'll do it again. 718-717-8296. Caller, you're on the air. Hello, caller. I can hear a caller on the air. Caller. All right, well, hello? Wait. Somebody butt dialed me? Now I want to hear because now I'm listening because I'm trying to figure out what I'm hearing. Caller? All right, I'm going to hang up on the caller. Call right back. You did you did make it through. Going once, going twice. I hung up on the call. I hung up on the network. I'm sorry. Oh, I got butt dialed this whole time. I've been talking and I've been off the air. No, I'm back on the air. I just figured it out. Yeah, you're right. I was talking mad smack. You guys just missed the best commentary in the world. You've heard the greatest song in the world? Man, you just missed the greatest rant in the world. The world's greatest. It was the best. You will never hear. You can't hear. It would be impossible to hear a better rant than you just missed when I hung up on the network. Yeah, I got butt dialed. They tried to drop the call and tell them to call back. If you butt dial me again, because I was just starting to figure out where you were at. It sounded like a mall, maybe, or a car. Yeah, a bar at before noon on a Sunday. Not anyone that listens to my show. Oh, okay. Well, so you did miss the greatest rant in the world. I'm sorry. It was so great that it would be impossible for me to repeat it. I'm sorry. I mean, it can't be done. I can't do it. It would be impossible. So I just won $15 on a scratch off. Oh man, it is my day. Ducks are in a row. My ducks are in a row. So I heard somebody talking about Truth Top 40. And I hope they got some Poker Face. I hope they got some Payday Monsanto. And I hope they have some Amaros up in there. So if you're listening, hit me up, man. I'll hook you up with some dynamite tracks from some serious folks out there. They do it for God. They do it for country. They do it for love. Regardless of who, regardless of what, they just do. My man Payday Monsanto is out there pumping out awareness. Love you, brother. I love all the guys that I know in this movement. Freedom Palooza 4th annual. Freedom Palooza. Not positive the total lineup. I think we're going to have Cindy Steele here again this year. Wife of Edgar Steele. Anybody who knows about the First Amendment, who's been privy to some of the, nationalist movements, will know who Edgar Steele is, accused of killing his wife. Cindy will be there. Her story is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. You can cruise through the archives and find the interview I did with Cindy, but she'll be there this year. Larry Silverstein. No, Larry Silverstein will not be here at Freedom Palooza 4. Larry Sinclair, however, will be here this year at Freedom Palooza 4. Of course, we'll have Jim Trafficant, James Conner Jr. again. Hold on a second here. Freedom. Free! Rage Against the Machine. Okay. Bands. Obviously, Poker Face will be playing. We'll have plenty of local Lehigh talent. Lovers of Liberty and Truth will be there. It's a 3-day event. I'm not sure if Mark Farner will be there. I'm not sure if Roger Waters will be there. Last year, we had a lot of cancels. We were supposed to have Cynthia McKinney. She canceled on us. Hopefully she'll be here this year. Let's see, Sean House of Hempsel's Hempland Security will be there. Some of the bands I know that are coming, The Tank will be here with us. My good friends, The Tank from Allentown, Bethlehem, Lehigh Valley's best. Secret System. Oh man, you guys should check out Secret System. You can find Secret System at secretsystem.com. Pretty sure it's what it is. Pardon me. You can find Secret System on Facebook. Great music. Fully aware. Awesome people. I'm just as proud as a person can be to be associated with the bands and the speakers that we have that come here every year. And I will be the MC, MC/stage manager / go-to guy. I'll help you set your tent up. I'll help you push your car out of the mud. And I'll introduce your favorite band and speaker. Millions of chickens were murdered to bring you UCY TV radio today. I'm just kidding. There were no chickens murdered. There were no chickens murdered. The truth, the lies, the deception, that was murdered. Freedom Palooza 4 will be taking place, let's see, let me get the actual address here. Ding, 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 ding. We will have, Clyde isn't going to be there. Attorney Phil Berg will be there again this year. Art Larson, I doubt. Well, Art might be there this year. We're definitely, this year we'll have our friends from the Watchman Militia. We'll have our friends from, the USS Liberty. We're going to have, hopefully we'll have, another representative from the USS Liberty. I did mention that we will have a sustainable, non-GMO speaker. We will have hemp, industrial hemp, and hemp speakers. We will have medical cannabis speakers. We'll have me. I always fill in the blanks. Doug Hawk. Just talking about the music that we're going to have is very exciting. Secret System, Storm, another one of my favorite bands. Poker Face. Let's see, Doug Hawk. Man, you guys will love Doug Hawk. Doug is a jazz, and he is just amazing. Dave Cahill, I'm not positive Dave will be there this year, but I'm going to bring some of my friends to play this year. I've got some friends who are just kids, man. Young kids in a punk band, and they're coming. I can't wait. So yeah, listen, man, July 3rd, July 4th, July 5th, come on down. 3 days of camping and just hanging out. This will be our 4th annual. We want to do this every single year. We want this to be what you do on the 4th of July. Instead of going and hanging out with, with that fat uncle you hate and, the fake smiles and the, fainting enthusiasm and interest. Just come out and hang out with people and talk about things you want to talk about, hear things you want to hear. This isn't, this isn't going to be a big drugged out, They're not going to be a lot of, what do you call it? It's not a rave. It's going to be just people, a little bit of partying going on. We'll have, definitely have beer and water, mostly water. That's the one thing that I make sure we always have is ice and water. Cause, man, July 4th, 5th, and 6th, every year so far, it's been in the 90s. So we'll make sure we have free water for everybody. If you show up, just get there, get to the gate. If you got there on a shoestring, we're still going to let you in, man. It's $30 for the whole weekend, and that includes camping and everything. But if you show up because you're my friend and I told you to come and you can't get in, you just tell them you know me, man. And you're going to be able to get in. That's Freedom Palooza 4. I still can't find the freaking address. Yeah, I can't find the address. Sorry. It's just outside of, it's just outside of Easton, Pennsylvania, right on the border with New Jersey, right on the Delaware River. Yeah, man, it's going to be a great time. I hope to see everybody there. I'll have a couple of shows to be able to talk about it and what's coming up. I'll be getting with Paulie, and maybe next week I'll have Paul on the show. You can expect to see a few people that you've heard before or heard of. But what you can really expect, man, is just to find love or find acceptance. That's what we're there for. And we don't care about color. We don't care about any of those things. We expose the truth. Yeah, we do have a generally anti-Zionist slant. But, you have to point out the people that you're not allowed to criticize, because those are the ones pulling the strings. So we're near Kintersville, PA, Upper Bucks County. You can Google Freedom Palooza. You can just go to freedompalooza.com, freedompalooza. Just about anything. We'll be at Johnny Mac's American Grill. Johnny Mac, graciously, he's a wonderful guy, man. He lets us have this event on his grounds. And I can't say enough about Johnny Mac or the great food that he serves. We got 22 acres. There's enough camping for everybody. I'll give you the address, 9755 Easton Road. Just a few miles from where Washington crossed the Delaware to rout the Hessians. Yes, and it is true, man. It is true. Oh, gosh, we did it. I did a whole show. I didn't talk about the news. I think I think I can, I think I'll be able to pull off one show a week without having to be like everybody else, without having to, latch on to the hot topic of the day, to the trending, idea or it's only once a week. So, we'll be able to do this. And I want to thank everybody who listened to the show for the day, for today. And, I want to thank Jules, UCY.TV. I'm an old friend of UCY. I like to think that I'm one of those grandfathered in. Whenever you talk about UCY, you talk about I'm one of the people that you'll not other than Jules. I don't do a lot, but I've been friends of the network, and I'm certainly proud. I wear my UCY T-shirt, and I don't mind. I promote UCY. I'm all about our network. I'm all about Jules and the hard work that she puts into it. And like I said, it's that hard work that facilitates a network that doesn't beg for money. If she got this whole thing running, she'd have to charge money. She'd have to start getting money. So thanks, Jules. Man, you stuck to your roots. We've stuck. This is a network that doesn't beg for money. We're not panhandlers. We're not squatters. Certainly, hosts are able to ask for donations. I'm all for that. Support your favorite host. But you should definitely be thankful that in the background, Jules and I were able to to talk about this, and she was smart. This had nothing to do with me. This is all Jules. She was smart and didn't build a network for 10 million listeners and then downgrade. We built a network small and upgraded it as it needed to be, and so it's been sustainable. So thank you, Jules. And no, the website's different. You're able here. Thank everybody.
We're God-fearing people.
All up next. True shout.
By leaders who are godly. We're long. All right? Don't let them fool you into thinking you're lost and you don't have to care. They can call it whatever they want, but they can't make it hate.
I'd rather die than be a slave to thee. Don't treat me this way. I'd rather die than